Now we are hot. Let's do it. Man, this is what I'm really down to do right here. Yeah, let's do this. Who is the biggest threat to the Denver Nuggets in the Western Conference? Like we really talk about the Denver Nuggets like they're not a very good, they're just not a good team. Like they not the defending NBA champs. I mean, we really talk about them like that. So, what up, chump? You know what it is. You know what it is. You know what it is when you see me, you chump. Uh-huh. Anyway, like we talk about the Denver Nuggets like they not the defending NBA champs. And yeah, they've been struggling, no question about that. But I what I do know for a fact is it's gonna get tricky with a lot of these teams that's gonna have to see them. It is damn sure gonna get tricky with a lot of these teams that's gonna have to see them come come playoff time. A lot of teams. I'm sure of that. I'm not on the fence about that. I'm sure of that. So I'm good. Um, what do you guys think, man? I mean, I was looking at the standings, and with that being said, the standings don't tell the whole story. We all know that, right? The standings don't tell the whole story. There's a lot of teams that are, as you know, I say fugazi. I think the Milwaukee Bucks are fool's gold. I'm not that high on the Clippers, and this is to win the NBA championship. So I saw them get smoked last night by an Oklahoma City team that just basically out toughed them. So with them out toughing them, I mean, is that realistic come playoff time? I don't know. I don't know if that's unrealistic. I don't know if that's realistic come playoff time. But what I saw last night, let me tell you, I didn't really like what I saw. I didn't. I did not like what I saw, and I'm worried about the. I'm not. I'm actually not worried about the Clippers. I'm not worried about the Clippers because I know who they are and I know what they're about and I know what their season is contingent on. But the Minnesota Timberwolves, in addition to the Minnesota Timberwolves, I'm worried about Oklahoma City though, man. And the reason why I'm worried about Oklahoma City because a lot of people are high on them, and I don't want them to disappoint. I think that they're a team that's another year away. And I think they're at least a year away from really challenging for the Western Conference Championship. Hey, Kenny. And with them challenging, for the Western Conference Championship, with them at least a year away with them challenging for the Western Conference Championship, that means that there's going to be some growing pains. But because they got a player in SGA who's so good, and they got a second year player who is so good, automatically the thought is, yo, this team can win it. I have yet to see a team that's powered by kids, that's powered by young players, win the NBA championship. I have yet to see that. So I want to hear from you dudes, man. I do. I want to hear from y'all on who is that team in the Western Conference. Am I on some nonsense or am I on some nonsense or is it really like that? Is it really like that, or am I on some nonsense? Because I think that these teams, I think they jump in the gun on them. So uh excuse me for a second. I gotta knock somebody out real quick. So
Yeah,
excuse me.
hey, I got 5 minutes
What up?
for you, clown.
What up,
Because
you
my, my,
chump?
my
What's up,
dog's
you
going
chump?
crazy. My dog's going crazy right now. So I got 5 minutes for you,
What's
chump.
up, chump? What
So
up?
listen, man, you ain't here running your mouth tonight about the Denver Nuggets. Okay.
Mhm.
Cool. Why ain't nobody taking them serious? And then I heard you saying something about OKC and can they be? Listen, man. OKC been bull whipping dudes the whole season. Two teams that I'm
Mhm.
looking at that's for real is them and the T Wolves. Now I do think the T Wolves lose tonight to the Bucks. I think the Bucks go in there and get this win. This is a big win. This is a big game for the Bucks. I think you're wrong about the Bucks when you say they're fool's gold. I just think that
I
the
do.
Bucks have to go through this now, and it's better that they're going through this now in a transition midway through the season than at the end of the season where it ain't no time. So
We only
I
got
think
28 games left. Check it. We only got 28
no,
games left.
I'm talking about now, right? Like when they went through it.
Right.
Meaning you changed, you got Doc, you went through your little turmoil time, and then
Right.
you can kind of smooth out, and then you want to go into the playoffs the last
You think we got enough
10
time for that?
to
You think we
15.
got
Yeah,
enough time for that?
yeah, 30 games enough time for a coach to get his what he want to get in. Then you got to remember they had the All-Star break in perfect time. So you had extended days they can come back and practice. So they got practice days. And remember that you ain't practice to chill. You know basketball, bro. If you're a head coach, you take over a job in the middle of the season on the road, bro. Everybody talking about Doc make excuses, bro. If you telling the truth, it's not excuses, brother. If you tell the truth, and see, we live in an era now that if you tell the truth, people say you hating or you making excuses. No,
Which I
you're
hate.
telling the truth.
I
If
hate that
Doc
hate.
Rivers say, "Hey man, look man, James Harden didn't do what I asked him to do. He didn't do what the hell he asked him to do." You can't get mad at Doc. We watched the
Right.
game. If
Right.
Doc sit up there and tell you, "Hey man, Paul George, hey, he just wasn't hitting the shots tonight, man," that's exactly what we saw. We've seen that. This ain't something that's new. We saw last night against OKC. We saw what could happen. But guess what? Ain't nobody blaming that on Doc last night. What Paul George did against OKC again. Him, Russ, and all them dudes went and threw up a
They
stinker
got
last night, pretty
they
much.
got smoked. It was
And
bad.
when you
It
get
was bad.
manhandled like that, and guess what? You get manhandled like that. Guess what? You play them. You got to go to OKC and play them. See, that's the part you left out. You got to go to OKC and play them. So OKC ain't no handover. Now you playing them at home. So that means you have to go in there and get game one and game two because they already shown you they can go to LA and get a game on your court. So you have
Everybody's
to
showing that. We saw Minnesota go in there and blow them out. The
come
last
on
two
now.
games that they lost, ticket. The last two games the Clippers lost, Minnesota beat them by over
Come
20.
on,
Last
bro.
night, Oklahoma City smoked them. So we
Come on,
already
bro.
seen them. We already seen them get blown out. I ain't even
Come
on
on,
that
bro.
yet. That
Come
that
on,
that
bro.
that part of my that part of my. You already know how I feel about the Clippers. You
Now
already
let's
know how
get
I
back to
feel about the
Denver.
Clippers.
Now let's circle back to Denver though. Garrett question because they got a good starting five. They ain't got no bench. All their bench left them this off season pretty much. I mean, unless you're gonna depend on guys like the backup point guard, unless you thinking that he gonna look like he did with the Clippers in the playoffs a couple years ago. If that's what you think that what I'm saying he gonna give you, and if you think that
So you don't
DJ's
trust
gonna
Reg,
give
so
you
you don't
something.
trust Reg, so you don't trust Reggie Jackson. You don't trust Christian Brown,
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say
Watson.
that. No, I didn't say that. I
That's
said
what I'm
if you
asking you. That's what I'm
I'm
asking you.
saying if you think that if Reggie Jackson's going to play like he did with the Clippers in the playoffs about 3 years ago, then that's a different story. If that's the Reggie Jackson you think you're getting, but Christian Brown, don't trust him. Sorry, you should have. They needed to keep Bruce Brown, but the money wasn't going to work. So
Right.
that was a huge loss. Jeff Green
Right.
as a vet was a huge loss to
Yep.
provide the boost he gave you. So,
Right.
bro, they got a lot of other unproven cats. Denver's going to be in trouble because guess what teams are going to do? They're going to tap Michael Porter Jr. now. So now it's going to be Murray and Jokic going to have to win a lot more games than Jokic. Now I'm whipping it to everybody else and getting everybody else involved. So
But with
not
that being
because
said, though, with that being said, what you just said, they're gonna have to win a lot more games. Didn't they do that last year? Ticket. The rotation was short. Don't get me wrong. It
no,
wasn't
no,
like it
no, you're
wasn't
not
it
hearing me.
wasn't
But
like
they had the right,
I
they
know I
had the
heard
right
everything that you
players.
said. Ticket. It wasn't like
They
Jeff
had the
Green.
right guys. They
I
had the
know
right
that
guys
Jeff
though,
Green. I
bro.
know that Jeff Green. I do know Jeff Green was a vet, 100%. I
They
do
had the
know that.
no, and
But
Bruce Brown. Hold on, Bruce Brown was huge. They had the right role players, bro. The guys who got minutes were the right guys. Bruce Brown, big minutes. You needed him on that team. Jeff
right, I
Green,
get that.
big minute, big vet minutes. You needed him.
Right.
Then that allowed them to bring Christian Brown up the way they was bringing him up because you already had reliable dudes. So
So
then that
after a
brings.
year with
I
Christian
haven't seen it.
Brown,
Have you seen it?
I've seen him. I haven't seen him. It wasn't like he was great last year, but he
Oh
was a good
man,
role
no, I
player.
ain't say that. Have you seen significant improvement this year? No, you haven't.
I don't expect significant improvement, but I do expect him
I
to get
do.
better.
Hold
And
on.
I don't see the
Your role,
same dude
hold
from
on.
I think
Your
last
role
year. I
gets
don't.
when your
I don't
role
see the
gets
same dude that
bigger.
I seen from last year. Ticket.
When
No,
your
I don't.
role
Now
gets
don't get me
bigger,
wrong.
when your role,
When you the
he's not
champ,
doing nothing.
when you the champ, it's different when you the champ. You walk different when you the champ. You talk different when you the champ. You roll different when you the champ. No question about that. Now, when I see
But
Christian Brown, I don't expect him to play 25, 30 minutes in the playoffs. This is a second-year dude who was a rotation guy. I don't expect him to do that much, but I don't expect him to be the same dude that he was last year. I do expect guys like Peyton Watson to be better. I do expect that. I think
what is he? But no, I'm saying no. But what is he? No, I'm saying. But with Christian Brown haven't shown me no real significant improvement this year. He haven't. I have not seen it from him, bro. I was thinking that okay, he might be a guy to step up a little bit more. I have not seen it, bro. I haven't seen it, brother. So when we talk about that, and then like I said, them other role players, I'm iffy on all them other role players. Reggie Jackson's the only guy I think that you can think about that could potentially do something in the playoffs. But other than that, that starting lineup got to be on point most nights, and they're not looking the same way they looked last year, bro. They just don't. They
Well,
look a little
did
off this year, bro.
since you brought that up, Ticket, these 28 games that we got left, just the same thing that you said about Milwaukee. Can't we do the same thing with the Denver Nuggets? I mean, we
No,
can
they
get
didn't
it
have
together.
but they didn't have a haul over though. Milwaukee's got guys coming back. Middleton's gonna be
Right.
coming back. He's been hurt.
Right.
So they had guys that was out too. People forgot that, Dame missed a few games. Middleton missed most of those games with Doc. A lot of those guys was out. So now you bringing these guys back in the fold. Now they're gonna have it's gonna be a whole different look. Plus, they just signed somebody else. I forget. And so I think they're trying to sign one more guy. But as I said to you, brother, with Denver, they're not. There's nothing to change with them. They've had their same team. There's nothing that they can do to try to change up the trajectory of what they're gonna do. They're gonna be who they are because they don't have any other moves. They don't. Chilltown, they lost their guys, bro.
I don't think that they need any other moves, Ticket. I think it's just a matter of playing better.
I'm sorry, bro. You need other moves. You need other moves when you play. Listen, I'm gonna tell you why, bro. I'm gonna tell you why, brother. I'm gonna tell you why. You need other moves because I'm gonna tell you something, bro. Those other moves is what was the difference with the Lakers series last year. All them Lakers games was close. The Lakers lost those games, but those other moves, when guys make plays in big moments,
y'all played D'Angelo
bro,
Russell.
he shut out D'Lo out that whole series. Them other moves, those other moves, bro, was the difference in that series, bro. So let's be real. Like you can't talk about just a series and then not say the role players meant something. When they have most role players on a championship team mean something. When you lose the role players, they lost. They didn't lose Penny and they lost key role players. Jeff Green was a key role player. Jeff Green made big shots with them in the finals. He made big plays to fit him throughout the playoffs. And he was a reliable guy who could come in and play D if your starter, Aaron Gordon, who's frequently getting into foul trouble. And that's another thing you forgot about. Aaron Gordon frequently got into foul trouble. So then you looked at that. Then you looked at Bruce Brown and everything he did, disarming D'Lo, being an energy guy, giving you 13 to 15 points a game in the playoffs. I mean, bro, being that other guy who just made him, bro. I'm just saying to you, bro. Like when I look at Denver, bro, listen, I'm gonna tell you something. They're gonna have a hard time beating Minnesota. They got to go to Minnesota. They're gonna have a hard time beating Minnesota. They got to go to Minnesota. Minnesota want to get their lick back too for what happened the other year.
Absolutely, last season they do want to do that.
They way better this year, Chilltown. Minnesota's way better this year,
and healthy.
That's different. So you got to go through them. Then you still got to play either the Clippers, the Lakers, full strength now. The Warriors are even getting better, Chilltown. Then, like I said before, man, bro. Then you still got you're not listening though.
No, I heard exactly what you said. I'm not buying the Warriors.
Deal with them. Any team with
Stephen Curry, yeah, I do.
Any team, you still got to deal with them, bro. That's
still around. I'll give you that.
Not easy. That's not an easy. Yeah, that's not an easy
work. All right, I'll give you that. 100%. They're not easy work.
Right. So then you keep going. You got to look at the other teams too. OKC ain't gonna just be no pushover. They match up well. OKC match up well, bro.
But with that being said, Ticket, everything that you just said, I mean, the road to the championship ain't easy. I mean, we are the defending champs for a reason. This ain't easy. This is hard. And don't get me wrong. I can appreciate losing vets. I can appreciate losing Jeff Green. I can appreciate losing Bruce Brown. But guys like Aaron Gordon, KCP, this is the stretch when these guys get healthy and they get into their rhythm and they get into their stride and they start to get better. This is that part of the season. Christian Brown, he know he got to play better. I don't think Christian Brown could come off the bench and give you 14, 15, but if he does, that's even better for them. Reggie Jackson has to be better, and he knows that he has to be better. The difference in the Denver Nuggets winning the NBA championship this season, it's not just going to be Joker, because everybody knows who Joker is. Everybody knows who Jamal Murray is. Don't get me wrong. The schemes against those two guys is almost impossible. The rotation guys are going to be the difference this year. Guys like Christian Brown, KCP, Reggie Jackson, Peyton Watson. Those dudes are going to be the dudes that's going to have to step up this season and show that, we are worthy of being the NBA champs. And the biggest obstacle, I think it's the Minnesota Timberwolves. I ain't really tripping on none of them other dudes because I know that they better than the Lakers simply off the strength that AD isn't better than Joker. That matchup right there is the difference in this series. That matchup there is the difference in this series.
But see, you got to understand. Remember, AD's already played. They played the Nuggets this year and beat them, I think. So they've already played like right there with the Nuggets. Oh no, did they lose? I think they lost that game to the Nuggets. But AD was balling. AD played like right there with them. I forgot something crazy happened in that game.
He did the same thing last year too. Ticket. It wasn't like he got completely outplayed. I mean, he did work last year against Joker. Joker's just better. That's the difference. Joker is just better, and Jamal Murray was better. That was the difference last year in that playoff series. Every last one of those games that they played against the Lakers, even though they swept them, was dogfights. I mean, the Lakers lost on a buzzer beater. It wasn't like they lost 6 or 7 points. No, James missed a shot to win the game. They were in every last one of these games in order for
I don't got them
in order
coming
for
out the
them.
West, bro. I don't got them coming out the West this year. I think them. We're gonna look back. We're gonna say them losing them role players was huge.
Who you liking in the Western Conference then? If you don't like Denver, who you liking in the Western Conference?
Right now, I'll be honest with you, man. I like what
Today,
my eyes
today.
see. I like what my eyes see. I mean, I think they're gonna lose tonight, but I like Minnesota, bro. I think Minnesota's defense, bro. Defense travel, bro. And them dudes is playing. They look different this year, brother. They look different. They just look like a well-oiled machine, a
What's the difference with them,
team.
Ticket? What's the difference with Minnesota this year that wasn't going on last year?
They have more experience. For two, the coach had a time to get a training camp with all those guys in there. Because remember, they traded for Rudy Gobert last year. But
Right.
you know, like I said, they last year was just like a throwaway year. But they really had time to bond, to get together. And this summer, you could tell the guys is either working out or they had way better chemistry this year, because I mean, it looks completely different. They're on the same page defensively. All of these things. You don't see Kyle Anderson in there arguing with Rudy Gobert like he was last year in the playoffs and stuff like that.
Right.
You don't see any of that stuff. These dudes are on point, bro. And them dudes ready to roll. And they got guys at certain positions that can guard wings. They got guys that can guard bigs. They can clog the paint. They can stop you from scoring inside. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And they're going to present Joker a big problem with them two bigs, the way they're playing defense, bro.
Ticket,
Reed,
keep going.
no, I'm saying with Nas Reed coming off the bench, bro, they got the bodies. Like I said, they're gonna provide a real problem. And this year, you don't have home court advantage if you're Denver. You got to go through Minnesota.
But you got to win on the road anyway in the playoffs, Ticket. You know that. You got to win on the road. You have to.
Hold on, but it's much. But chill, listen. It's much different when you got to go to Denver and playing that Mile High when you versus them having to go on the road and play you. Right. Denver ain't gonna always be the same team on the road, bro. Those are gonna be real grind out games. See, at home they get to be comfortable, they get to sleep in their own beds, and they're in the Mile High. They have that advantage with the altitude because they always in it. When you don't have to do that, when now they got to come to us, we at home, we in our home crowd, we've been doing the same thing the whole year, bro. Now it's gonna be on Denver. Denver has to go in there with the mindset, bro. We got to steal one of these games just to split it to get back home. And guess what? We got to hope that they can't win a game. And guess what Minnesota's proven to you, Chill? They did get beaten 5 games, but they proved they could win a game in Denver.
It was a dogfight. I mean, the closeout game, the closeout game was an overtime. And I know what you're talking about. Going on the road, I definitely get with that.
They showed you they can win a game in Denver.
So what do you say? Since I got you here, so Ticket, what do you say? Because you like Minnesota as much as you do. So have you changed your tune on Rudy Gobert being soft? Have you changed your tune on that?
I still think he's soft, but I just think that he.
So how can we beat them then if we got a soft big man?
No, you're not hearing me. I think they play better as a team. And hold on, listen. I think they got great insurance with Nas Reed. Nas Reed comes in the game and he doesn't like give you a fall off really. His production on the court, man. Nas Reed is a backup big, bro. He can start.
Wait. Stop right there, Ticket. You telling me that they don't have a fall off? We're talking about Rudy Gobert, who's arguably the defensive player of the year, and we're talking about a guy in terms of their defense.
You're not listening. You're not listening.
I'm listening to you, Ticket. I'm just trying to make sure I'm understanding you. I'm just trying to make sure I'm understanding you.
The way Rudy Gobert kills you defensively, Nas Reed kills you because you have to play defense on him. He makes you have to pay attention to him. That dude can play, bro.
Does Nas Reed? I'm glad you brought that up, Ticket. Does Nas Reed offensively? Does that make up for what Rudy Gobert brings defensively?
Yes, because
no way, Ticket. No way do you believe that?
Tell you yes, because listen.
No way.
Nas Reed could be a starter on half the teams in the league, man. As a center, Nas Reed could be a starting center to average a double in the league, bro. If Nas Reed was starting, he could be averaging 17 and 10, 17 and 11 easy in the NBA, bro.
But to make up, and that part I won't argue that part.
So my point is that in the limited minutes that he plays,
right,
he doesn't. It's not a huge drop off. What you see, all you gotta do is look it up. It's not no huge drop off when he's in the game. You're not asking him to play
defensively. It's not a huge drop off, Ticket. Sure, it is.
Their whole team. No, it's not. Look at their whole team. Hold on, chill time. No, it's not. Look at their whole team. They have been able to hold leads this year. Look, you got to look at this numbers with this team too, bro.
Right.
Nas Reed, those guys. Hold on, Nas Reed and those role players have been played extremely well. Jalen McDaniels, all those role players have played extremely well for that team this year, bro. So what I'm saying is that when those main guys take a rest, it ain't no huge. Okay, let me give you an example. It ain't nothing like when Jokic goes to the bench, you got to come bring in DJ.
Right.
Now, see, when Jokic go to the bench, they never want to have to put in DJ.
Right.
They tried to avoid that last year, putting in DJ. Remember, they was putting in Jeff Green at the center and all this other
He
stuff
couldn't play in the
for a few
playoffs. We
minutes.
couldn't play DeAndre
Right.
Jordan in
So
the
that's my
playoffs.
hold on.
Right.
So
We
that's
couldn't
my
do that.
point. That's my point to you. With the way Nas Reed is playing, now guess what? We one thing me and you know, Cat is foul prone. But
Yes,
guess
he
what
is.
Nas Reed have been able to do? He have been able to show you that he can still score when he need to in certain games, and
Right.
he's not bad to where he's getting exposed out there defensively to where it hurts your team. It's
The
not.
reason why this team is so good defensively is because of what Rudy Gobert brings. The reason why Jaden McDaniels is as good as he is, the reason why Ant is as good as he is, the reason why Cat is as good as he is right now is because of the rim protection. Because Rudy Gobert can now step out on a perimeter and defend on a perimeter. He's not a liability like he used to be. And what they also did too, Ticket, was they exposed the Clippers because the Clippers tried to go small and that coach out-coached Ty Lue, because what he did was they tried to put Russ on him, and all they did was run Rudy to the rim, throw the ball up to Rudy, and he was dunking the basketball. Now you got Russell Westbrook on the floor. Rudy can go out there and play him, but he doesn't have to because Russ is not a threat on the long ball
Yeah,
line.
but that's
So
my
now that
point
leaves.
to you. Hold on,
So
but that's
now,
my point to you. That's why I said when they played Denver, we was talking about that series with them in Denver. When
right?
they played Denver, Jokic can't get in foul trouble. He can't. Jokic gets in foul trouble. They in trouble. So,
You mean
but guess
You mean
what?
Denver?
Hold on.
You mean Denver?
No, no, yeah,
You
yeah.
talking about
Jokic, no,
Denver?
I'm saying no. You listen.
Okay,
I'm saying Jokic can't get in foul trouble that series.
right.
But guess what?
Against Minnesota. Okay,
If Cat does get in foul trouble, they have a better chance at sustaining. You know what I'm saying? The way that the level of play when Cat is on the bench when you got Nas Reed
right.
versus the Nuggets. That if Jokic gets into foul trouble, you over it. Unless Jamal Murray just goes nuclear, you done.
They don't have the same. They
You
run their
can't.
offense through.
That's
They run
my
their
point.
offense through Joker. That
That's
part I
my
get.
point to you. That's my point to you, bro. My point is
Part.
that Nas Reed don't kill you. He don't do nothing to hurt you. Yes,
Well, that's what a
Rudy
rotation
Gobert.
player is, though. That's what a
No, it's
rotation player
not.
is.
Not all of
Yes,
them
it
ain't. Hold
is.
on. Okay, so time out. So that's why I said to you, hold on. That's why I said to you, it is certain players that hurt you that's in your rotation that you gotta
Right,
play, bro. It's
right.
certain players on teams that you gotta play these dudes in the rotation, bro. They hurt you, brother.
But
Simple as that.
sure, I can definitely agree with that. But Ticket, they have different packages in Denver when Joker is out the game. We don't run the same dribble handoff with Jamal Murray that we do with
They
Jordan.
can't do that though.
We can't do that. That's the point, Ticket. We
No,
can't
I'm
do
saying
that.
no. Right. Hold on. My point is that this. So if anything goes wrong with Jokic or Murray, they're done. If anything goes wrong with Jokic or Murray, that they're in huge trouble. What I'm saying is what Minnesota has done is they have enough pieces to where if Ant is in foul trouble, they can hang it. Like let's say Ant gets too quick in the first quarter.
Right.
I trust Minnesota's team more to be able to sustain and hold that level of play closer than what Denver if they are missing
So you think
Murray
if Joker off the
or
floor, he
it's
gets three or four,
man.
he gets
Listen,
three
man,
fouls early.
man.
They go right in the tank. Is what you're saying?
Mike
Forget it.
Malone. Listen, Mike Malone's gonna have to play DJ because of the size inside. Because they're gonna get all the rebounds. So he's gonna have to play DJ. And when he does that, it's over with. Because even though you're playing a big, those other bigs are quicker than him. Those other bigs are more agile and more athletic. And all the point guard for all Mike Conley Jr. is gonna do is put DJ in the pick and roll all game. You're done.
Which I won't argue that point, but I will argue, Ticket, when you take Rudy Gobert off the floor, you lose that rebounding, you lose speeding up the game, you
What's
lose
Nas
that
Reed
defensive
averaging this
rate.
year? What's Nas Reed averaging this year, Chilton?
I'm not even talking about points, Ticket. That's not what I'm
No, I'm
talking
talking
about.
about rebounds. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
What's Nas Reed averaging?
I think he's like a six.
That's not bad. He's only playing limited minutes.
Right. And that's the problem. They depend on Rudy. They don't depend on Nas like they depend on Rudy. If they depended on him,
that's my point. But
and
my
if he's
point
off
to
the
you is
floor,
bro.
and if Rudy Gobert is off the floor, when Rudy Gobert is off the floor, this team does
do y'all
not.
hear Chilltown?
This
Do
team
y'all
is
hear
not the
conversation
same
here?
team.
Hold on. Do y'all hear? Look at Chilltown, y'all. Do y'all hear Chilltown, bro? I'm telling this man that Nas Reed could start for half the teams in the NBA. He
But
could.
what you also trying to tell me,
One.
Ticket, is with him being a starter, that's one thing. But you're also trying to tell me that
but I'm
Nas Reed, when he's on the floor and Rudy's off the floor, they don't lose much. That's not true, Ticket. That is not true.
I'm trying to. No, their drop off is not that much. You can go
It's
look at it.
huge defensively.
It's not, bro.
Ticket.
That's not true, bro. It's not. Their drop off as a team has not been like that this season. But let me say this to you, bro. You keep saying it's foolishness, brother. I'm gonna say it to you one more time, man. That with Nas Reed on the team, if you up his minutes, his production ups. See, that's what the part you missing what I'm saying. So you can say, oh, well, he only averaged 6 rebounds. He ain't expected to play big minutes. I'm saying to you, whenever they do play him big minutes and give him a lot of touches, he produces, sir. He produces.
Right,
He
and I
has
get
done
that
that. He
part.
has done that. He has done that for the last few years, bro. That's why they didn't want to lose him in free agency. That's why they signed and kept him, because he could have went and started on other teams, bro. The Lakers wanted Nas Reed. Other teams wanted Nas Reed, bro.
Right,
Nas Reed
and
wasn't some dude that was the Nas Reed could have been starting for the Lakers if he would have signed with him. He'd have been starting
Ticket,
center beside AD.
Ticket,
So
we
what are you
talking
talking
about.
about?
What I'm talking about is that we're talking about a rotation player, so he looks different as a rotation player as opposed to being a starter. He looks
He's
way
supposed to
different.
be a he's supposed to be a
He's got
starter.
different
He's supposed to be a
responsibilities. Just
he's
like Bobby
supposed to be a
Portis looks
starter.
different.
He's supposed to be a starter playing a rotation role, bro.
So
Nas
you
Reed is
telling me that
supposed to
Nas
be a
Reed is
starter.
really a starter, so he's really a
Yes.
starter playing in a
Chilltown. Did
rotation
you not
role.
Chilltown? Did you not see the offers he had this off season to go start with other
Then why did
teams?
he stay? Then why did he stay in? Then why did he stay
Because
in
he
Minnesota?
likes
Then
because the fool likes being in Minnesota. But guess what? He obviously made the right decision if you want to be on a good team and win. I mean, listen, some guys make decisions due to family, due to other things too. Guys don't want to
right,
uproot their family and stuff like that. You got to
right,
take all that into consideration. But what I'm
right,
telling
and
you
I
about
do.
Nas Reed, and go look at every single time his minutes are up. Chill, his production goes through the roof, bro. Look it up. I'm not lying to you. Whenever Nas Reed,
I think he's, if I'm not mistaken, Ticket, I think he's something like 11 or 12 a game, or like 6 rebounds, something like that.
right? And how
Like
many minutes? And how many minutes?
something like that. I think he plays. I know he played less than 25 minutes. I know that
Right.
for a fact.
So
I
what
don't know
so
how
what
many
I'm
minutes
saying to
he
you
played.
is,
So
what I'm
you
saying
saying
to
that
you,
if this dude played 30, 35 minutes a game,
oh, he definitely
so, and you
hovering
telling me that
around.
he's got the same impact as what Rudy
No,
had?
no,
They don't.
no. I'm saying
Not
no.
not
I'm
not.
saying that. I'm
Let me
saying no, no, no.
rephrase
I'm
that.
not
Ticket.
saying
No,
that.
let me
No,
rephrase
no,
that.
no, no,
Let me
no, no,
rephrase
no.
that.
I'm saying this. I'm saying this. This is what I'm saying, bro. You taking what I'm saying out of context, brother. I'm saying that if Rudy Gobert get
Mhm.
into foul trouble early in the game, he got 2 in the first quarter. He got to sit down early in the first. He
Take
got
him
to
off
sit
the
down the
floor.
whole first and half the second. I'm
Okay, take
saying
him
that
off the floor.
Nas Reed is a hell of an option to hold you down until Rudy can get back. I'm saying that it's not going to be this blow off the court with Nas Reed on the court
As opposed to if you
versus
take Joker off the floor,
right
as opposed
versus
to
if
if
you
you
take
take Joker
Joker off
off
the
the
court
floor.
and you have to play DJ, you're done playing against Minnesota. They're going to destroy you inside. They're going to run you up and down the court. DJ can't get up and down the court. A lot of backup centers ain't like that in the NBA right now, bro. It's hard pressed to find backup centers in the NBA. You ain't even got that too many great centers in the NBA. But what does Minnesota do? They make you play their style of ball. They play 2 bigs. Remember that. Everybody else playing a big and smalls around them pretty much. They play 2 bigs. So, and they have been successful at that. And remember, Chilltown, most of the teams that have won championships have played bigs. The only ones that didn't do it recently was Golden State and what you call, but everybody else, the Lakers had played big. You know what I'm saying? Giannis and Lopez played big when they won.
Right, right.
All these other teams, bro,
The
they
Lakers
playing.
played with Anthony Davis and
Yeah,
Dwight
bro, come
Howard.
on, man,
Sure,
they
they played
playing
with Beverly
big.
Hills. Right.
Jokic,
And Ticket, this part about Minnesota, you're preaching to the choir, because I've been a Minnesota guy right from the beginning. What I'm thinking about is Nas Reed. That's where the divide is with you and I when it comes to Nas Reed. I think Nas Reed is great as a rotation player. I'm not going to argue when Joker steps off the floor how much different the Denver Nuggets are. I'm not arguing that. And the reason why I'm not arguing that is because everything they do runs through Joker. They run their offense completely through Joker. So they can't do that with Aaron Gordon. That dribble handoff doesn't work with him. That pick and pop doesn't work with DeAndre Jordan. No, it doesn't. It does work with him and Reggie Jackson, with him diving to the basket for a little while, but it can't work for the majority of the game.
chill.
You
They
don't.
lose that series this year, bro. If Denver plays them,
So you
me
got
and you gonna have
Minnesota
this
beating them.
conversation again. If Denver plays them in the playoffs, chill, they lose that series, bro. Bro,
Minnesota going
listen,
to the
listen,
NBA
listen.
Finals then,
Minnesota got the
because
matchups,
I don't
bro.
see nobody else in the
Chill
Western Conference
town.
beating them.
They
I
got
don't.
the matchups, bro. Bro, listen. Michael Porter Jr., guess who you can throw? Jalen. You can throw Jalen McDaniels on him. And guess what you can do with Aaron Gordon? Ain't gonna do what he doing. Cat too big for that. Cat too big and athletic for Aaron Gordon. See what Aaron Gordon do is he prey upon the weak. So when those other guys be
No, he doesn't.
trying to
Ticket.
play those,
No, he doesn't. No,
no,
he
no,
doesn't.
no.
That's
Listen
not
what I'm
true.
saying. No, listen what I'm saying.
I'm
Listen what
listening.
I'm saying.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
For example, when they played the Lakers was undersized against him. So he just bullied you and ate around the basket. But other teams, when you got guys like Cat and them, he can't do that to Cat and them. The same thing he does to them other teams that have
So
small
guys
guys.
his size. That's what you're
Yeah, or
saying.
guys his
Guys his
size.
size.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
He got it. And
Because I
Cat is
watched
a
him
big.
rough Jimmy Butler up. I
Yeah, but
watched him
he's a
straight
big.
rough
Yeah,
Jimmy
but he's
Butler
a
up.
big agile dude that can guard him and that's athletic.
Right.
That's not something. That's not just an easy matchup. So what I'm
Right.
saying is they got all the matchups for them, bro. They got all the matchups across the board for them. And then, like I said, you got Ant-Man lining up with Jamal Murray. I'm saying not guarding him, but he's gonna, bro. That offsets that production is gonna offset. You know what I'm saying? The
The thing I'm
production that the two bigs gonna give you gonna offset Jokic. The
right.
production that Rudy Gobert and that cat gonna give you. Them together is gonna be like 25 rebounds and probably about 40 points. Oh no, 30, 30,
Here's,
30
here's the,
35,
the,
38 points, 39
the,
points.
the magic word you use, Ticket, was production. That's the magic word you use. Am I going to get that production from Cat though? Because he's going to be the difference in
Come
this
on,
series.
Chip, what are you
I
talking
know
about?
who. I know what I'm getting at a Rudy Gobert defensively. I know he's gonna clean glass. I know for a fact he's gonna man the paint. I know he's gonna rim run. I know that for a fact. I know that Ant, who is a third-year shooting guard, I know that for a fact. This team consistently is gonna defend. Cat is the difference because if he disappears, we are not the same team.
How much
This
better
whole
is
thing
Ant
is
this year in your mind?
how much better is Ant this year than last year? He's much better.
Okay, so that's the difference.
Much better. Much
Hold on,
better.
that's the difference. Hold on, that's the difference now. So if Cat ain't got it falling off, Ant is much better now than he
He
was
can
last
cover.
year.
He can cover.
So that's my
But for
point.
how long, though, Ticket? That's the difference. For how long? I could cover you for right now. I could cover you for a shift. I can't cover you for a whole week.
Bro, I
I can
like
cover
how
you
they
for a
play,
couple of
man.
hours. I
Yeah, I'm
love how
sorry,
Minnesota
bro.
plays because the one thing that they do consistently is they play defense. It ain't a bunch of teams in the league that can say that they do that. Teams like the Clippers, teams like the Celtics, teams like Denver, they don't play defense consistently like that. That's why I dig Minnesota. The difference is everybody that's on that crew does their job defensively. Cat is the guy who, if he disappears multiple times, which I've seen him do that before, more than once, more than twice, when he disappears, that throws a monkey wrench in what they're doing because Ant can only cover him for so long. Ant can't cover him when we get into the better series. Ticket, I could cover you when we playing against, I don't know, one of the weaker teams in the Western Conference. I could cover you when we do that. But when we got to see the Clippers, when we got to see Minnesota, not Minnesota, when we got to see the Clippers, when we got to see Denver, when we got to see the better teams in the Western Conference, I can't cover you the entire series. You have to do your job. And we've seen Cat fold. We've seen him fold up like a lawn chair. And that's the guy that I'm worried about.
Chill, last thing I'm going to say to you, and I'm going to let your other guests come in, bro, is this thing with Doc, man. I'm just going to tell you like this, bro. Only 7% of the head coaches in NBA history have won a championship. Doc Rivers, in the history of the National Basketball Association.
So that means Ticket. So that means that of 100 guys, only 7 of them have won, and he's one of them 7. And he's one of them 7 dudes.
But in the NBA coaching, it's been around 3,000 head coaches in the history of the NBA.
Wow.
So, and Doc Rivers is of 7% that won a championship. Now think about this, Chilltown. Out of all those coaches that have coached in the league, Doc Rivers is of 3% of them have won 1,000 games. Doc Rivers is in that 3%. It's only 10 coaches in NBA history that have won 1,000 games. Doc Rivers 10%. Is in that 10%. Doc Rivers in the league right now he's currently right now in the NBA, have the most active playoff wins right now in the NBA. Now he doesn't have the championship to show for it, but as a head coach right now, as an active head coach, he has the most playoff wins in the league. I want to say this to you, bro. One day, me and you got into an argument. We was talking about Kevin Garnett, and I was saying that KG, I said that he underachieved in Boston, and everybody got upset with me. And why did everybody get upset with me? They said, "Oh, well, how could he underachieve when he got hurt that second year when they won 60 games?" Well, most people thought the Celtics was going back to the chip to win another championship that year, and they thought they were going to go back. I thought they would have won 60 games, right? So, okay, so, but they blame that on Doc Rivers. They say, "Oh, well, Doc only has one championship as a Celtics head coach." Well, if you lose your best players, your defensive anchor, that would mean something because the team that you actually lost to went to the NBA Finals. So, and that was the Orlando Magic. That was the team that they lost to, but they didn't have Kevin Garnett. The very next year they get KG back, they go right back to the NBA Finals. See what I'm saying? And they lose to the Lakers in Game 7 down the stretch at the end of that series.
In a dogfight.
Right. It goes down to the last couple possessions. You see what I'm saying? And people say, "Oh, well, Doc is a fraud." Listen, again, out of 100, bro, 7% all time, Chilltown. Doc Rivers is one of 7% of coaches that have won a championship. So this is what all the people say, "Oh, Doc's a fraud. He's this, he's that, the third," right? When are we going to start holding accountable all of the players that disappear down the stretches in all those games? When are we going to hold James Harden accountable? Because everybody's cooked James Harden everywhere he's went. But for some reason, all of a sudden, Doc's problem. And I think Doc has some of the worst luck in the NBA. Chris Paul. This dude always gets hurt in the playoffs, regardless of if he's playing for Doc or whoever else. He did it with Doc too, and with the Clippers. Got hurt plenty of times in the playoffs. We remember this. This is well documented. Chris Paul was known as a choke artist. Without Doc, he lost to the Bucks at a 2-0 lead in the NBA Finals and lost and got walked down. So we've seen Chris Paul choke in other situations. Paul George, they called him Pandemic P before Doc Rivers even came around. They was calling him a playoff choker from back in his OKC days and the things he was doing then when the Utah Jazz and those boys were handling him and he was playing like garbage. So he was already known as a playoff choker then. Then you go look at Joel Embiid, a dude who's always been hurt, but they blamed it on Brett Brown. Remember they said Brett Brown didn't know what to do, couldn't control the team, all this other stuff. But it was Joel Embiid that was always getting hurt. It was Joel Embiid that was coming up in game sevens or closeout games, shooting 28% from the field. Then comes Doc Rivers. He does the same thing. He gets hurt, and then in closeout games he plays like garbage. Or in the last few games in the series he plays like garbage. He drops off big time. But then we blame Doc. Right. But now look. So now we're at a new coach with Philly. Same situation. He's hurt again. So now what are they gonna do? In 3 years they're gonna blame Nick Nurse and say Nick Nurse. When are we gonna start holding the players accountable? See, chill. I can get with you if dudes is out here dropping 30 and 40 and the schemes ain't working, the defensive schemes, something like that, where we losing these close games because the schemes ain't working or whatever. But when dudes is out here playing like straight trash, when are we going to ask the guys that's getting paid $150, $200 million? Because, chill, you can be a head coach and you can tell me, hey, Ticket, I need you to do this, and this. And I go do whatever I want to do. And people say, oh, chill, you're a bad coach. No, I told him what to do. But see, the difference with the NBA is that when you're paying guys $250 million, $200 million, it's hard to sit those guys on the bench now. You know why? Because you're going to get fired either way. You sit them on the bench, Chilltown, you're going to get fired. If you play him and he doesn't get it done, you're going to get fired because of the money game. It never was like that in the past. You never heard the guys blaming the coaches. It was always the players that was pretty much taking the blame outside of Magic Johnson when he went and got the coach fired. Outside of him, you never really seen players going and saying and hanging it on coaches when they lost.
So
only now,
keep going.
I'm saying only now do they do that, and I don't like that. And then when Doc Rivers tell you, we always say we want guys to tell the truth. Well, when they ask Doc a question, he tell the truth. Like, hey, well, James didn't do what I asked him to do. He didn't show up. Now everybody mad at Doc saying that, oh, Doc's making excuses. No, you want the truth? Or you want me to lie? You want me?
No,
hey,
what's the truth? Now, what's the truth? Because there's two sides to the story. There's two sides to the story. The truth is Doc has had some great talent, and he should have won more with the talent that he's had.
Name one. Okay, give me one series. Hold on. Give me one series. Hold on. See, this is what I'm gonna do to you. Give me one series.
I'm not finished. I'm not finished.
No, I'm saying, but hold on. I want you to stop right there. Give me one series then. I dare you to give me one series. You said that Doc should have won more. Give me one series you think that, or year that you think Doc should have won that he didn't win, that you thought, man, that was on Doc.
That's what I'm saying. I was trying to finish my
point. But you can't. I'm asking you to give me one right now. Give me one right now.
This is what I was trying to tell you, Ticket. On the one hand, Doc has had some great talent. But on the other hand, there have been times when these guys have not produced. We saw playoff P turn into pandemic P.
No, every time, Chilltown. No. Ain't no sometimes. Chilltown. Hold on, Chilltown. Ain't no sometimes. Chill. Ain't no sometimes. Every time. Go back from the beginning. T-Mac in the playoffs, Eastern Conference Finals. He's up 3-1. What does T-Mac go to the mic and say, Chilltown? Oh, I'm happy to finally be in the second round. This, that, and the third. Did T-Mac close out that series, Chilltown?
No, he did not.
Okay,
they have to get that done. And the logic is when he doesn't get that done, the logic is we shouldn't have been there in the first place. I'm not trying to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
And Doc Rivers was coach of the year, and so you can't put that on Doc. T-Mac didn't close out, and go look what T-Mac did in them close out in those last few games in that series. Chilltown. So Chilltown, go to the next one. Chill. What about Boston? So what happens in Boston? Chilltown.
They win the NBA championship. They win the NBA championship in 2008, and then the next
gets hurt.
KG tore his knee up. And then
the very next year, they go back to the finals, right?
Right.
Now, that's what an older big three. Is that Doc Rivers' fault that KG got hurt? And they couldn't win back-to-back because KG got hurt? That's Doc Rivers' fault?
Kendrick Perkins got hurt in Game 7, too.
Okay, so, all right, now let's go to the Clippers. The job after that, right? Let's go to the Clippers. Doc Rivers is playing against the Houston Rockets. What happens in that series against the Houston Rockets, Chilltown? Who gets hurt?
Chris Paul.
Thank you. Is that Doc Rivers' fault?
No, it's not.
Okay, so now let's go to the next year, Chilltown. Who was hurt? Both Chris Paul and Blake Griffin the very next year. Both players was hurt.
Right.
Him and Blake Griffin. Is that Doc Rivers' fault? Both the superstars got hurt? Bro, the man had JJ Redick and Matt Barnes in them starting, bro. Come on, man.
And I can get with that, sure.
Okay,
now keep going.
Keep going. So now let's go to Philly. Let's go. No, let's go to Kawhi and them.
Mm-hmm.
So you're up 3-1 in the bubble with Kawhi and them against the Denver Nuggets, right?
Right.
Now, how was that Doc Rivers' fault that Kawhi Leonard shot 22% from the field, scored 14 points in the closeout game, and Paul George shot 21% from the field?
Three games, though, Clippers.
And
Three
had
games.
no.
Three
But
games.
you're not listening.
Come
You're
on,
not listening.
Ticket.
No, hold on. But
man.
hold on. But look at those. Hold on. Look at those 3 games, though, Chilltown. The 3 games. Not only was he getting, you got to look at the situation. First situation was this. What happened with Montrezl Harrell, who was the 6th man of the year that year, Chilltown? His grandmother died and he had to leave the bubble.
Right, I do know that.
Right, he was gone for a whole month and a half. He wasn't, and then you out of shape when you left for a whole month and a half, and then you got to come play in the playoffs. Montrezl did not look the same. He did not look the same after that. Right. What happened with Lou Williams? This idiot, instead of following team rules, goes to the and then he gets suspended, and he misses more time coming back because his fool want to go get, and he didn't play the same. He shot 13% in that series. He didn't even play the same. So those are your 2 key bench guys who either one of them had a family issue and the other one was just a damn fool. Now let's talk about your starters, right? Okay, what did Paul George do those last 3 games of the series?
He was pandemic P. He was pandemic P. That's what he was.
So time out, Chill. So
they shouldn't have won the first round. The only reason why they won in the first round.
Outside of Kawhi, hold on. So outside of Kawhi, he didn't get nothing from his other 3 main guys. Your 4 main guys that year was Kawhi, Paul George, Lou Williams.
Is that all on the players though, Ticket though? Is that all on the players? Like, because when you say stuff like that, we got to talk about. We also,
my brother.
I'm listening to you.
Paul George was hitting the side of the goddamn backboard, bro. What are we talking about?
Yes, he was terrible.
The man was shooting in Chilltown. He was getting served by Seth Curry, not Steph. Seth Curry was serving him, talking shit to this man, bro.
Yes.
What are we talking about? Seth Curry was serving that dude, talking crazy to him. Chilltown.
Yes, his brother.
Is that Doc Rivers' fault that your star player is getting cooked up by a role player who wasn't even supposed to be in the league, who was a fringe NBA player at the time? Seth Curry was whopping that dude up. All that was on Paul George. Your second best player didn't show up for those last 3 games. He wasn't nowhere to be found. Then he want to complain about Doc. Your other 2 players, your 6th man of the year, both your players that was in contention for 6th man of the year that year, Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell, look nowhere near the same that series. Montrezl's grandmother died, so I give him a pass. And Lou Williams was an idiot and got suspended because the fool left out the bubble to go get lemon pepper wings, and that messed their whole playoff run because remember, when he came back, the league suspended him. They put him in quarantine and suspended him for breaking the rules of the bubble. Right. So that's what happened that year. Now let's go to the Philly team.
Right.
Joel Embiid breaks his face. Joel Embiid breaks his face against the Miami Heat. He doesn't even look nowhere near the same. The man scores 18 points in the closeout game and shoots 25% from the field.
James Harden doesn't do anything.
James Harden do it. Then he go to the very next year. Go to the very
next
year,
bro. No, stay right here.
Stay right here.
Let's stay right here because I'm thinking about this crew. And yeah, Joel Embiid got his face broken. 100% he did get his face broken. That when I think about what else they did though, what about the schemes that Doc was running during that time?
What schemes can you run? Hold on,
my best player.
What schemes can you run? What schemes can you run when first of all, didn't he miss a game or so that series? A couple games?
Who? Joel Embiid?
Embiid.
I think he missed game 2. If I'm not mistaken.
I think he missed like 2 games or so. He missed like 1.5 games.
I'm sure he missed game 2.
He missed the game. He got hurt, and then the next game, I think.
Well, he got hurt. He got hurt against Toronto. He didn't get
broke his nose. He broke his nose in that Miami series, right? Or the Toronto.
No, it was in Toronto. It was against Toronto.
Okay, cool.
That's when he got
hurt.
But
he wasn't the same that series. He only averaged his percentages were terrible. He only averaged like 20-something points, like 22 points, and he shot like 30-something% from the field, I think.
Right.
That series. That wasn't Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid was giving you 30 during the regular season, playing like an MVP candidate.
33 games.
Right. So now, and then James Harden was leading the league in assists to both of those years, if I'm not mistaken, and he was averaging over 20 plus a game. So you take that and Maxey didn't do anything, and Tobias Harris was playing like garbage. I'm talking about outright garbage.
But the difference with that being, but hold on, Ticket. But with the difference with that is James Harden was in the system at the time, and they was running the offense through Joel Embiid. And with them running the offense through Joel Embiid, James Harden wanted to be turned loose, and he wasn't turned loose. That's a scheme that Doc Rivers didn't recognize. My best big man, not my best big man. Let me rephrase that, Ticket. My best player doesn't have it going. That means that I got to go to my other guy, which is James Harden. Who now, once you give him the basketball, now he becomes more of a distributor. He becomes more of a scorer. What happened there? Why didn't Doc Rivers make that adjustment?
Hold on, chill. He did.
I'm
And he
listening.
hold on. And when he did, what did James Harden do? The man threw up bricks. The man, and then the last year was even a bigger display. When Joel Embiid went out, he gave the keys to James Harden. James Harden scored 40 points, 40 points. Doc told him to keep going doing what you do. What did he do in the closeout? Nothing. Turn the ball over. The Boston Celtics embarrassed that man, bro. They put the straps on him, embarrassed him. He didn't look like he could move. All of these things. He looked bad individually, just in his physical in that game.
Ticket,
Remember,
we
you
gotta
had
we
Dub in
got
the bro. Y'all just want to put everything on Doc
no, we
and these
don't.
players, bro.
This is the point that I'm making, Ticket. The point that I'm making is that I think that there is a level of accountability for players. 100%. It ain't all on the coach. 100% there is a level of accountability. But we do have to talk about schemes, like the fact that you have Jason Tatum under wraps all the way up into the fourth quarter in a closeout game, and you don't blitz him every time he gets the basketball to get
Bro,
the ball out of his hands
man,
and make them other
cut that
dudes
out.
score.
Cut that schemes out.
That's
Listen, cut the schemes, bro. I'm gonna tell you why you cut the schemes out, bro.
why.
The great teams do what they do.
Which is what?
You figured. Okay, let me get to you. The Chicago Bulls, they ain't changing their scheme. They gonna bring it. How they gonna bring it? You gonna have to adjust. You know why? Because the great players gonna step up and do what they're supposed to do. The Detroit Pistons, they're not changing no scheme for you. They was gonna Isaiah and them gonna do what they gonna do. You gonna come with it. You can go to the new Pistons that won in '04. They're not changing their scheme. This is how we coming. This is how we playing. You gonna have to figure out a way to
So
adjust.
we just going
What you do?
down that
Hold on,
hill
hold on, hold on, hold
ticket.
on. So
Keep
no,
going,
no, I'm
keep
saying
going,
so
keep
when you
going,
have
keep
truly
going.
great players, and that's
Mhm.
why I agree with your cousin Shaq. Your cousin said this perfectly, bro. That's on the players, bro. When you up 3-1, the
You
superstar
got
is
to
supposed
finish
to
it.
close the deal.
You got to finish
That-
it.
Bro,
100%.
so
You got to finish
everybody keeps talking about Doc Rivers, he's losing these 3-1 leads, chill town, chill town. Where is the superstar saying, no, I'm going to close this? What happened to that guy? Chill town, me and you, we grew up on those type of guys. Bro, it was times, bro, even LeBron James, chill town. What did he say in the Miami series against the Boston Celtics, bro? When everybody was counting him out and he went on the road and they was like, oh, this is over with, man. They done for. LeBron
No, it
said
ain't.
no.
No, it ain't.
He said no, bro.
No,
It
it's
ain't
not.
going down like this.
No, it's not.
Even he's done that, bro. So, but when you look at all these other guys, when is James Harden? When have you ever seen James Harden in that type of situation come through? When have you ever seen Embiid in that type of situation come through? When have you ever seen Paul George in that type of situation come through?
So
When
your
have you
logic is
ever seen
as a player, I've done
right,
everything that I could do for you as a coach. Finish it.
right? When have you? I'm asking you, any of those players I named you,
I don't
outside
remember.
of
What
Kawhi,
I don't remember.
outside of Kawhi, name me one of those guys from Harden to Embiid to Paul George to Chris Paul to Blake Griffin to God daggone name me one of those guys. Name me one.
And the
You
reason
don't
why I
you
can't,
can't.
the reason why I can't is because there isn't one. That's why.
Thank you. So that's hold
There
on.
isn't one.
That's my point to you. Me and you grew up in an era where, and even like I said, even LeBron did it. Bro, you know what they were saying about LeBron before that game he went in Miami? And he had that look on his face, the infamous look.
This was a
They said
ridiculous
he is done.
failure.
They said he is
Yes,
done.
a ridiculous
Chill town.
failure. There's no
The
way that
man
you can
said,
come
chill
back from
town.
this.
The man said no. He did the same thing that Irvin Magic Johnson did after they called him tragic. Magic's like, nah, we ain't finna come back on
When
you.
you're up 3-1, I just remember being younger. When you up 3-1, the series is over.
Close it.
Especially the better teams.
Close it.
Especially
Close
with the
it.
better teams. When
Right.
Bird was up 3-1, Magic was up 3-1, Jordan was up 3-1, series is
Right.
over. We done it.
Right.
We're not going
So
back to
that's
wherever
my
we're going back
whole
to.
chill town. That's my whole point to you is that guys like us need to carry on that tradition and hold these dudes accountable for not closing it. Because when you a superstar, you getting paid the big bucks to close it. It's just like Shaq said, bro, I ain't paying you no $200 million for you to come out here and give me 15, 14, 13 points in the closeout game. And then you talking about the coach. Nah, man, I don't want to hear that, man. You go get it, man. You go get it. Like, bro, you give me the ball, I'm taking this home today. I'm going with it. One game. One game. So I got 3 games to get one. I'm a superstar. I got 3 games to get one. Chill town. I'm talking about the coach. Go to any player in this league. I got 3 games to get one, and I'm talking about the coach. No, you give me 3 games to get one. If I'm a real superstar, I'm supposed to be able to get you one, bro. I'm supposed to be able to get you one, my brother. And ain't none of them dudes outside of Kawhi show you that they can get you one. Kawhi did it when he was in Philly, when he played against Philly and hit that shot when the series was on the line. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
So he did that right.
against Toronto. Against Toronto.
That's my point. But when did the other dudes has all been crash dummies, bro? T Mac never got you one, Chilltown. T Mac never led a team out the first round, but everybody talk about Doc. Chris Paul has
He got
always
you
been on.
3. If we're up 3-1, we should be able to finish the series.
That
So
you,
are
but
you
that
saying
hold
that's
on,
so
chill.
ticket?
But that's the
Because what I'm
difference
understanding
between
from you, ticket, it sound like Doc has just been unfortunate. That's what
yes,
it's been more than
bro.
anything.
Listen, bro. These dudes ain't great. That's what I keep trying to tell you, bro. Y'all keep talking about all these dudes is great. They not Tatum and them. He's not there yet, bro. When has Tatum done that? You glaze Tatum all the time. Tatum had been in the moments where he can take game sevens. When has he done it?
He
He
did
need
it
to do
last year.
that.
Took it
No,
game
no, I'm talking
7.
about no. I'm talking about when the
Not
stakes
only
is
did
at
he
the
do it
highest.
last year, he did it in
No,
game
no,
6
no,
against
no, no.
Philly.
You're not
Yes,
hearing
he
me. You're not
did.
hearing me. You're not
I heard
hearing me. Listen
everything
what
you
I'm saying.
just said. Took it. No,
I'm
that's
saying
not
when
true.
the
It's not
stakes is
just arrow.
no. Listen. No. Listen what I'm saying. I'm saying when the stakes is at the highest. I ain't talking about the early. I'm talking about for him. When it's okay, for example, game
Okay.
7 last year on your home court. Okay, you
Okay.
get hurt. I've seen Isaiah Thomas jack up his ankle and go get what? Damn near almost
25.
50.
He had 25 in the third quarter.
Right.
They should
So
have won
come
that
on,
game
bro.
too,
I
by the
don't
way.
want to hear. And
They
his
should have won
ankle
that
was
game.
in way bad condition than what Tatum was in. And Isaiah Thomas was a
He
miniature.
couldn't hardly walk. He couldn't
Come
hardly
on,
walk.
bro.
Right, I can get with that.
That's why I say, like, yo, bro,
Well,
we got away from true greatness, bro. We got away from true greatness, bro. We got away from like I'm gonna tell you the truth, bro. We got away Chilltown from holding stars accountable for really being great, brother. Brother, Hakeem had to. You always that's your favorite guy, is Hakeem. How great was Hakeem? Did he have to be in order for those Houston Rockets to win back to back? Everything was about Hakeem. Everything. It was Hakeem or bust. And you know that because you know why? Because he was truly great. So you think Hakeem Olajuwon would have been doing the same thing Joel and beating them doing out here and close out games or up 3-1? You think he just letting dudes just annihilate him, walk him down? He can't get one game? Come on, brother. Larry Bird, he ain't getting one game, Chilltown?
he is getting
You
one game. I'm not that
right.
part. I'm not arguing.
I'm saying up 3-1.
I
I'm saying,
won't
hold on.
argue
I'm
that.
saying up 3-1. All those guys that came from our era getting you one game up 3-1.
Right.
All them guys getting you one game one of them years.
Right.
All I'm saying to you, brother, and I'm gonna leave it alone now. I'm gonna leave you in your chat. They didn't get him one Chilltown. None of them. Only guy seen do it was Kawhi Leonard. That's it.
Y'all know
Mama
the man,
holler
the
at you,
myth.
brother.
Y'all know the man. Y'all know the myth. Y'all know who he is. Y'all know where to find him at. It ain't hard to find him. You know where to find him at. This is what me and this dude do every time we get together. So you know what it is. I'll see you soon, you chump. Absolutely.
I told you I was gonna pull back up on you. I'ma holler at you, though, bro.
Absolutely. I'll definitely see you soon. Ticket out. What up? I got a couple of minutes.
You can't let him come on there. You can't let Ticket come on there and spread this false gospel.
What's false about it? What was he talking about? That wasn't legit.
The lies on Chris Paul's name that I just heard.
Like what?
Just say Chris Paul ain't never came through for you. Chris Paul ruptured. He borderline ruptured his hamstring in that game.
He didn't say he didn't come through. He didn't say that. No, he didn't. He did not say that. He got hurt, and he said what he said was Doc Rivers. You can't blame Doc for that, which is true. You can't blame Doc for that. That ain't Doc's fault. That is not Doc's fault.
He said, remember, he was like, Kawhi was the only one. He said, outside of Kawhi, Chris Paul had the game 7. He hurt his hamstring against the Spurs, and he hit the game winner that game in that game 7.
Yeah, against the defending champ. Everybody know that. That ain't news. When they played against San Antonio in the first round, 100%.
Yeah, so I'm saying he'd have had some moments. Chris Paul had some moments where he came through, like, why he, was playing for Doc a little bit. Not, I do agree with him.
I believe in the next round they got swept.
No, that was 15. That when they blew the 3-1. But he played great down the stretch of that series, Chris Paul.
Right.
Yeah. But
so maybe 16 is what I'm thinking about. Because I know that I know when he got out when he got out the first round
against Portland. He hurt his hand against Portland.
That was in the first round. That was in the first round. I know that there was a year that they got out of the playoffs. They got out of the first round of the playoffs, that Clipper team, and they ended up getting, I think they got swept.
They were 4-2. Yeah.
One of those years. But to Ticket's point, and Ticket is right. And the thing that you have to remember when we're talking about this stuff, a lot of this stuff isn't subjective. A lot of this stuff is objective. And we do have to, Ticket is right in the aspect that we do have to hold players more accountable than we do. We do have to do that. And Doc being, I do admit, Doc has had some schemes. Doc has had some adjustment issues where he lets guys cook, which I said last year, how Jason Tatum in game 6 in an elimination game on your home floor gets going in the fourth quarter where you just leave him out on an island, where you just let and turn him loose. No, we got to jump him. We got to do something to get the basketball out of his hands. He didn't do that. That's a big problem. I'm not leaving these players off the hook, though, because Joel Embiid in game 7 is standing at the elbow, and he's got Marcus Smart on him, and he's passing the basketball. That's not just a scheme. That's a Joel Embiid thing too. I can get with that logic.
But one thing he said too, you asked him. You said he asked you. He like, okay, what series were you looking at Doc and like, okay, that's on Doc?
Which one?
The series against Atlanta in 2021. Now Ben Simmons had his faults too. I'm gonna give Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons gonna get some blame pie. Joel Embiid gonna get some blame pie because he kind of turned the ball over. He had moments throughout that series where he went missing. Like game 4, he went 0 for 12 in the second
They
half.
ain't have no business losing to Atlanta in that
But
series.
game five was Doc fault. Game 5 was Doc fault. Doc put an entire bench rotation in up 25. Atlanta walked them down instantly as soon as that happened. You can't entire bench rotation in a playoff setting? Nah. Now
And they were up 25. Is that what you're telling me?
Mm-hmm. And they walked them down.
Meanwhile, we got a guy in Ben Simmons who's holding Trae Young. We got a guy in Ben Simmons who's holding Trae Young to one of the lowest shooting percentages in playoff history.
Mm-hmm.
But they still can't win. That's Doc. Because he won't look at the basket. That's Doc. Because Doc won't turn him loose. Because Doc did turn him loose.
The first game they played, he put Danny Green on him instead of letting Ben Simmons guard him. Ben Simmons guarded him like you
first game. That's what we talk about, Dante. The first game I'm talking about, we had a 7-game series.
That's making adjustments though. You got to make in-game adjustments. You see Danny Green getting fried. It might be time to switch the matchup.
And that's what he did. That's what he had Ben Simmons on him.
Yeah, but that might
and we're also talking about Danny Green, who was an all-league defender. It wasn't like Danny Green was a slouch. Danny Green was an all-league defender at one point.
I agree, but sometimes it's just about matchups. Sometimes you see a certain matchup ain't working. Ben Simmons longer, he's taller, he's more athletic, he got length,
right.
He's quicker, he's way bigger than Danny Green's bigger than Trae Young, but Ben Simmons just towers over him. So that might be a tougher matchup.
Right. And I don't think that's a scheme with Doc Rivers. I can't get in your head and tell you that, you got to get downhill. You know that. That's why I got the ball in your hands.
Oh yeah, offense. I said Ben Simmons gets some blame.
I can't put that on Doc. I can't put that on Doc.
Yeah, I said I got all three of them, like them three splitting up portions of because
there's accountability. There's accountability on both sides. I think Doc has the misfortune of being a part of all of this. That's the sucky part about it. But a lot of this stuff, we have to start talking about the players too. We do.
I agree with him on that Celtics point in 09 because I thought they were gonna run it back and win it again.
I had them winning the NBA championship that year. I did.
At Christmas, they were 27-2.
It was rolling. 100% they was rolling. When I found out that the Cavs was fool's gold, I thought the Celtics was going to. I was on that Cavs train too. I was like, these dudes won 66 games and they winning the NBA championship. Until I saw the biggest problem that they had, which was it was their front line. It was like, you dudes is fool's gold. If KG doesn't get hurt, they beat the Lakers again. They do.
Yeah. I do. That is what I really wanted because you were asking about the West. I'm gonna tell you right now. I said it like the first game of the season. Dallas played San Antonio. I think the biggest threat to the West, to the Denver Nuggets, might be Dallas.
Wow.
The X factor to the most underrated X factor in the West is Derek Lively, the young center for Dallas.
Well, they got Gafford now, so he can play behind
as a backup.
him. Yeah,
and they got Maxi Kleber back too, so they got some size.
Right. So Gafford is not backing up Lively. Lively going to back up Gafford. That's the way that's going to work. Lively's going to back up Gafford. That's the way that's going to work. But this might be the most talented front line that Luka has been on.
The whole time he's been in. This is the best team I think he'd have had since they added PJ Washington too. PJ Washington. Like you don't like PJ?
I do like him. Yes, I do.
You said okay. I
do like him.
Yeah, I think they can. I see my thinking is the two biggest threats to them, but one of them I just know they can't beat them. I think the Lakers. I just know they can't beat Denver though. But
that's why I'm battling with Ticket and we talking about Denver because the other dude is better and that happens as good as rotations are, and I'm worried about Denver's rotation, which I brought up. I'm worried about Denver's rotation, but at the end, AD and Joker are the difference, and the big fella's just better. He's just better. That's really all it is. So,
AD played real good when they played last year, but Joker's just on a different level. The game won 34, 21, and 14. Like,
all right, brother. Good to talk to you.
My
man. Hey, whatever your name is, getting deep. What are you What do you mean? Just because somebody's talking a lot and you ain't talking, that doesn't mean you're getting fried. They're just making a point, and then you counter that point. Do you understand how a debate goes? A debate goes: you talk, I talk. You talk, I talk. It's not you talking and I talk over you. That means you frying me. No, you just talking and I'm listening. That's the way that works. You dudes have no idea how debates work. You talk, I listen. I talk, you listen. That's the way that works. And I counter your point with something that you gave me, which I was doing. Now, if Ticket is your guy, I got no problem with that because Ticket is my guy too. But don't come up here talking about I'm getting fried when you don't even know what we're debating about. Get your story straight. What up?
Hello, can you hear me?
What up? What up?
Chill, don't let Jason Tatum win a championship and finals MVP this year. Please don't.
I am going to be, I'm letting y'all know this right now. For anybody who can hear me, I am going to be unbearable. I'm telling y'all right now.
Like this
unbearable.
This ridiculous narrative on Jason Tatum. Please don't let him win finals MVP and a championship.
Y'all think that I'm on some bullshit. If the Boston Celtics win the NBA championship and he rocks like I think he's gonna rock, and they end up winning it off the strength of him and he's the finals MVP, I am going to be unbearable. They're gonna take me off the NBA.
First off, some things are gonna be confirmed. Number one, best small forward in the league. Let's get that out the way. He is the best small forward in the league. Number two, he can.
I said it. I got roasted. So.
Number two, he can be the best player on a championship team. That's like not debatable because he won a championship off the strength of him. They won a championship off the strength of him. Like, please don't let Jason Tatum go and win a championship this year. Please don't. But I digress.
It's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be nasty. I'm telling you, dude.
I am hoping we see Miami in the first round. I'm hoping. Tatum is looking at Miami like, I want revenge. Like, especially since he's more confident this year, talking about him being the best player in the league. And like, I wanted to get your thoughts on that, like on him saying he's the best player in the league.
Jason Tatum saying that?
Yeah,
of course. I mean, Anthony Edwards said it too. I'm the best player in the league. Giannis thinks he's the best player in the league. That's my edge. That's part of who I am. If I don't have that edge, then what am I doing out here? All the work that I put in the off season, everything that I do when I come out here every day. SGA think he the best player in the league. Every last one of these dudes, you're not a great player if you don't think that. There's no way that there's no way you're a great player if you don't think that. Jason Tatum, he really believes that when he stepped on the court. Jimmy Butler believes that. So every last one of these dudes believes that they are the best, and that's their confidence. That's why there's a thin line between cockiness, confidence, and being not very good. Because when your confidence gets shaken, you can see the difference in these guys. It's not that hard to tell.
This is great development for him. Like, he would have never said something like this last season. Literally, he would never have just outright said, "I'm the best player in the league." Like, he wouldn't have said something like that. I love the fact that he said that, because that shows to me a toughness that I didn't see last season or in seasons prior. Right? I got another question for you, Chill. It's a hypothetical. Right? You go back to that 2016 finals run. LeBron balled out of his mind to force greatest comeback in NBA history. If you replace Kyrie Irving with these four guards, which one of them do you think could do what Kyrie did in that finals? So I got Isaiah Thomas, I got Allen Iverson, I got John Stockton, and I got Steve Nash. Which one of those four best suits that 2016 Cavs run?
Isaiah Thomas, maybe, because he could score it, and he could play off the basketball, because Joe Dumars played the one. I don't like John Stockton with James. I do not like him. Who else did you say? You said John Stockton, Isaiah Thomas. Who else?
Allen Iverson and Steve Nash.
I like Allen
Iverson.
I don't like Steve Nash with him as much, because Steve Nash is another guy who doesn't really. I don't like Steve Nash off the basketball. I do like Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson can play off the ball. Allen Iverson is probably the one guy that I think can play off the ball the best with James. I think to help them come back in that 2016 finals run. I think his game works. And then after him, it's Isaiah Thomas, because I've seen him play off the basketball with Joe Dumars. I don't like Stockton. I don't like Steve Nash, because they're more traditional. Stockton was not Stockton. Isaiah was more of a scoring point guard who could play off the ball. Nash and Stockton, not really, not so much.
Not so much. Well, yeah, Nash also wasn't all that great defensively, and Kyrie in the 2016 he was playing defense as well. Chill. But to answer the question on the question, I think that the best team that could give Denver a run for their money is Minnesota,
I do
like
too.
wholeheartedly.
I
Like
believe
Denver,
that.
well, they even said last season that Minnesota was the toughest team that they had to get past, and they're better now this season. So I think they could really give them a run for their money this season.
I
What do
believe
you
that.
think about? So, what do you think happens if Cat doesn't show up against Denver? You think that then Denver wins?
They lose. Minnesota loses.
So
Because
this
he
is all
cannot
predicated.
because he cannot show up if let's just say for the sake of argument, if you're looking at this season, right, and the season ends today, in their first round playoff series, they gotta see Sacramento. They could withstand Cat for one game, or two games. They could beat Sacramento with Cat not playing well. The next round, which is gonna be, let's see, 1-8 would be Minnesota and Sacramento, 2-7 would be Oklahoma City and Phoenix. If they had to see Phoenix in round two, they can't withstand him not playing good in that series. He can't. Phoenix would beat them. They can't because they don't have the five. They don't have enough. As good as they are defensively, offensively, they need Cat to beat Cat. They don't need him to be 30 a game, but they can't have him being 12 or 13 a game. That's not good. No.
So this is all
Getting shut out.
predicated on if Cat. So this is all predicated on Cat showing up then
Yes.
in Minnesota.
Yes. Yes.
So if he does not, so you don't trust Ant then to close out those games then to be like the man on that unit?
There's a difference between closing out games. There's a difference between closing out games and actually having somebody else in and being in games. In order for us to be in games, in order for me to close out a game, I got to be in a game. Without a guy like Cat, when we playing against Phoenix or we playing against Denver, I mean, our defense is going to do what it's going to do, but we still got to score. We still have to score, and we're going to be in games because of our defense. The problem with that is if Cat's getting shut out, that's basically like us playing 4-on-5. That's not going to get it done. That's not.
So this is really predicated on Cat then. Do you think he's going to show out this season? Do you think he's going to
what history has told me or what history has shown me? No. But I got to go off what I'm seeing now. I can't just go off of what history has shown me. I can go off what history has shown me in the past, but as of right now, Cat can't do it. He's got to show me that he can do it. Because what history has shown me is that he can't do it. He's going to be the difference in the series.
What do you think about OKC then? Do they have a shot at Denver at all?
Not in 7 games, I don't think.
You don't think Shea could like put up some masterclass like performances and then
even if he did, even if he did, I don't think it's going to be enough. I don't. Even if he did, I don't think it's going to be enough. I don't. Even if he did, I don't think it's going to be enough.
So how long until they are a serious contender? Like 2-3 years until they're like serious contender?
I'm not going that far. I think in the offseason they get them. I think in the offseason they show up that front line, and I think next year, at minimum, they in the West Final. Yes.
So they get much better. Well, all right, Chill. You have a good one.
Good to talk to you, brother. I got a couple super chats I got to read real quick. Hold on for a second. Teddy Hart said, "Did I miss the Oklahoma OKC topic?" I don't think. No, you didn't. No, you did not. We talked about Oklahoma. We talked about OKC and how they handled the Clippers last night. No, you did not miss that, sir. Absolutely not. Teddy Hart came with another super chat. He said this year OKC is lined up on the same track as the 2010 Thunder. Everyone sees them coming, but are they tough? But are a tough playoff out and a couple of years away from being a true contender. Here's the problem with that, though, Teddy. The problem with that is that we live in a time where right now, you see how good Shea is. Automatically, this team is at the top of the Western Conference, so they can win it. When in reality, they're not there yet. They're getting close, but they're not there yet. And I think that's to their detriment that as good as he is, people think that they're that good when I don't think that they're there yet. They're not. They're getting close, though. They definitely getting close. Third Eye hit me with the super chat. Third Eye said, "Can't believe nobody's talking about how Tatum just now meeting Larry Bird." We talked about that. We talked about that. I mean, Larry Bird is not a staple in Boston. He's not, which I thought was weird too, though. I thought that was weird that Jason Tatum been with them 7 years, and this is the first time he ever met Larry Bird. You never been in a room with him before. I think that's always been weird to me. So, what up?
What's going on?
What up?
So, about that Tatum meeting Larry Bird. I've been to Boston. Larry Bird is not a staple. It's a staple in Boston, but he is a bigger staple than a lot of other Boston greats. Believe it or not.
Is he there though? That's the question.
No. He's not there because he's in Indiana. That's why.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He ain't never there. So
I heard a couple of disturbing things. You already know how I feel about Jason Tatum. We ain't even got to go into that. I heard everything that Ticket had to say about the coaching thing. And he's right. At some point, we got to keep playing the players. Case in point, we switched up our coach, and we gave up. You ready for this? 46 fast break points. That is the most points given up since they started tracking shit back in 1996. Let me say it again. 46 fast break points.
Don't leave out. Wait.
And 19 turnovers.
And I was about to say, hold on. Don't leave out 33 points off those 19 turnovers. Don't leave that out, Leave. I don't mean to get your blood pressure up. I don't mean to get your blood pressure up, Leave. But that wasn't all. Those 46 points in transition, yeah.
Listen. Taking this hat off right quick. I want to rebuild around this. The second that this goddamn season over, I want Zach Edey. I don't give a damn how much we got to give up for him. I don't give a but. Everybody on this roster needs out. I want him out. That's it. We rebuild this roster once again, and we start that shit off. The end of the season, at the end of June, we start this shit off with Zach Edey. He is going to command double teams immediately. You hear me? Immediately. That's all I know, bro. I don't give a damn what else that happens after the fact. All I know is he's going to command double teams immediately. You said last year he won a player of the year. They told him to go back to school. Somebody else said that it was his choice to go back, but I don't know who to believe in that aspect. But anyway, to get to your question, who's the biggest threat to Denver? Let me ask you something. Who was the last team to beat Denver in a 7-game series in the West?
Golden State.
Then that's your answer. The reason being is because now that pick and roll Joker was falling back on, and over against teams like Miami and Lakers and this and who else they played? They played Phoenix and all of those teams. Now you get to see what it looks like when Joker got to actually move around, and you actually got to play that. You actually got to play Curry off that shit. That's a little bit different. Last time I checked, that was the team that gave them the most problems.
It was, but I'd like to think that Joker is different than he was in 21 and in 22. Jamal Murray wasn't there when they I think they swept them. I
like what you're doing.
I think they swept them. So we ain't talking about the same dude. Was it 5 games? Was it 5? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like I said, Jamal Murray's different.
Another reason why I'm bringing that up is because Draymond actually gave Joker all he can handle in that series defensive. Even though he did play pretty well. Obviously, Joker did play pretty well. Joker, a lot of the stuff that he was getting in the series on his way to the championship wasn't the same. Don't let
that. I think Joker averaged like 31 and 13. Don't let them numbers fool you. It wasn't.
Yeah, I'm not letting them numbers fool me. So don't let them fool another team. I did agree with Dante in terms of Dallas, in terms of them being the sneaky team in the West. But at the same time, you still got the Lakers and the Warriors, and I don't think the NBA got the balls to leave them out of the postseason again. But that's just me. But in terms of that, I wanted to get to something that Ticker was talking about because we switched up our head coach and we got smacked by 30. We couldn't guard Fish. We couldn't guard a damn thing. We couldn't do it. Some reason, for some odd reason, Ben Simmons and Nick Claxton is getting limited minutes on the court. and we see what the spacing looked like. And this is one of the reasons why I disagreed with that lineup. The shit was ridiculous. It was embarrassing. We couldn't rebound. We couldn't play defense. Couldn't stop the fast break. We couldn't get no easy buckets. The team was looking like complete dog water. It's complete dog water. So that whole coaching thing, yes, at some point, Ticket was at 100% right. We're gonna have to start getting on these plays. The only time I got on Doc is that Game 7 against Atlanta when he refused to sit Seth Curry down, and Kevin Huerter went off for like 24, 27.
That's an adjustment. That's an adjustment right there.
That's
They
an
hunted
adjustment
him.
right
They
Oh yeah,
hunted.
absolutely. He was fish. He was absolute fish. Atlanta ain't had no business winning that series. We all know it.
They did.
We all know they ain't had no business winning that series. But another thing to go to about this Jason Tatum thing, and I got to get to this real quick. 27. See when you see 27, 8, and 5 on the first place team, obviously, man, it's thumbs up, man. Look, playing great, all of these things. But it just so happens to be taking place in the same year as somebody that's giving you 30, 11, and 6 on the top 3 team in that conference. And so it just so happens to be taking place with somebody that's giving you 26, 12, and 9 on the top 3 team in the West. So the whole, for any of y'all in the chat that believe that high yellow, light bright ass Jason Tatum belongs in the MVP conversation, bro, I'm sorry to tell you, the answer is yes, but no. And I'm gonna.
It can't be both ways, Lee. Which one is it? Is it yes or no? It can't be both of them.
I'm explaining. I'm explaining it. I'm explaining
Okay.
it. I'm explaining it right now. The thing
Okay.
is yes, is because the thing is everybody is thinking about how the case of the MVP conversation works. Let's play on the best team, like you always say. This is the best player on the best team. They've been the best team all year, obviously. We can't ignore who else they have, the Porzingises of the world, the JBs of the world, and the Drews, all of those players, unbelievable. But the MVP case in the last 5 going on 6 years has come down to players within Joker, Joel, and Giannis that have done astronomical shit on the stat sheet.
Right.
To me, but like when you see 30, 12, and 6, or 29, 12, and 6 on a given year, you think to yourself, yo, if a Tatum, if a SGA, if these dudes ain't getting close to this, listen, this conversation is over. That's what we all think. At least that's what's going on in my mind. I want to know what's going on in your mind when you see these numbers and you see them on top teams. How can you maneuver a player that's 27, 8, and 5 in up and before a player that's 30, 12, and 6? Okay. How can you do that?
So if I'm not mistaken, when Curry won the MVP,
and I know you won't give me a year where it happened. But the thing is, we got to remind ourselves that Giannis is top 3 in the East. Joker is top 3 in the West. So the anomalies, so if you want to mention the anomalies are Joker, who won it that one year when they finished like 5th or 6th or whatever.
6th.
And Russ, who won it that year when he had a 30-point triple-double. So the anomalies that you want to name, those anomalies, bro, like those get X'd out. So so I'm gonna ask you again, when have you seen a guy that's in first place averaging 27, 8, and 5 going up against the MVP conversation with 2 other dudes that's the top 3 in their conferences averaging damn near 26, 12, and 6?
So
have you seen this shit before?
So the numbers have never really been that big of a deal, because I watched Steve Nash win the MVP when Kobe Bryant averaged 35 a game. I did see that. They weren't a top 3 seed, but I did watch him average 35 a game. Your stance is the winning part. I could definitely
the winning and the numbers part.
Right, but your stance is the winning, because if you take the winning off, the numbers don't really hold that much weight. So if Giannis is doing what he's doing in Milwaukee, is in 6th place, just like Luka. If Luka is doing what he's doing and they're in 8th place, we ain't talking about Luka nearly as much as we talking about Luka if they're in 3rd place. There's a reason why Joel Embiid was the runaway league MVP. It wasn't just because he was averaging 35 and 11. It's because they was in 2nd place. It was in third place. That's why he was averaging it. I mean, that's why he was the runaway guy. So a guy like Jason Tatum, who was at 27, when I think about him leading all small forwards in rebounding, I think he leads all small forwards in scoring too. He's having a career year in terms of percentages. All of that good stuff, and the fact that they winning, I think a lot of people just look, you in particular, just look at this crew and think, well, he's just the beneficiary of this crew. When in reality, they're the beneficiary of him too. It is not just him being the beneficiary of them. They're the beneficiary of him too. Just like Giannis, just like not just Giannis, but just like Joel Embiid. Those guys are also the beneficiaries. There's only a few guys that I could say are the this guy is they are the beneficiary of him. Luka. Maybe just Luka. Because when I think of because Jalen Williams, I think Jalen Williams is a baller. It doesn't matter where he at. And I think that I think SGA is the beneficiary.
What about Joker?
I think Jamal Murray, if he didn't have Joker, he still would be awesome. But he is a beneficiary of Joker. But SGA, he's the beneficiary of Chet.
Giannis?
If he doesn't have Chet, we're talking about we're having a different discussion about SGA in terms of them winning. That's why we're having this discussion about him being in the MVP conversation right now, because they're at the top of the league. Giannis, yes, like Brook Lopez. Giannis is the beneficiary of Brook Lopez. When Brook Lopez was playing the way he was playing defensively, Giannis was the beneficiary of Drew Holiday being a defender that he was. Giannis was the beneficiary of the long ball shooters that they was. It wasn't just Giannis being a baller. No, that team was awesome defensively, and that was due to Drew Holiday. That was due to Bobby Portis and their rotation guys. So it wasn't just Giannis was a baller on a bunch of those other crews. No.
Let me get this straight. If you tell we all expressed that if Luka goes down, they are basically Charlotte. Which he went down for a little bit, but they didn't turn into complete doo-doo. I mean, but they did lose out.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that Dallas was garbage if they end up doing that. I said that if
you Denver, said if Luka went down, they are basically Charlotte.
When did I say that?
You said that a bunch of times. But listen, I ain't gonna
wait. Hold me if I said that. Did I say that?
Yes, you did.
Okay,
yes,
I don't remember saying that, but if I said that, okay.
No, you did. So listen, and I agree with you at that point when you did say it. You said if Luka goes out, they are Charlotte. That's what you said. But like I guess that was before the team that they got now, because they done picked up pieces. They did tremendous after the trade deadline, obviously. But what was another thing I was about to say?
You talking about Giannis? That's what you were talking about.
Yeah. We was talking about Giannis. Joker. We seen what that team looked like when he's not around. We seen what the Sixers look like when Joel not around. Because I kept piggybacking. I'm like, yo, the Sixers, they might be on to something. Maxey might be on to something, and then Joel goes down, and then they basically turned into what we turned into last year when we lost KD and Kyrie at the trade deadline. But that's neither here nor there. My point is this: there's certain stars we know for sure. Like once they go out, man, the team is gonna take one of those. Like in the case of Boston, realistically, man, like come on, are we not gonna at least admit that Tatum has had basically Google Maps since he got in the league?
No, he hasn't. No, and I'm not admitting that. I'm not admitting that.
Now.
I'm not. I can't talk to you about the Celtics. I can't. And Leaf, I'm telling you right now, brother, and this is the last thing I'm going to say before I go. You better hope that the Boston Celtics don't win the NBA championship.
Well, I don't live by the hope. I don't live by the hope.
God, you better hope that the Boston Celtics don't win the NBA championship. That's all I'm going to say.
One more thing.
My God, if they win the NBA championship, boy, I'm coming to Brooklyn. I'm coming to find you. I am. I'm coming to Brooklyn.
I got one more thing before I go.
I'm coming to Brooklyn to find you.
The Clippers are 2-6 against the top 3 teams in the West. Concern.
Okay. Before the All-Star break, who did they just play right before the All-Star break?
I think they played Minnesota.
Smoked them. How about last night, Leaf?
OKC.
Smoked them.
What's the problem? I'm trying to figure out. Okay, like I expect if you're playing Denver and you can't beat them, I can understand. But I know what you see in Minnesota. You talked about them having the pieces, but getting wore out by OKC. Come on,
They got roughed up last night. They got roughed up. That's
what
the third quarter. What happened in the third quarter?
What is the issue of like? I feel like at this point of the season, you should be asserting your dominance over them at some point, but at the same time, I feel like there's players on that team, Kawhi in particular, that's like, okay, I feel like we could get them in the playoffs if we play them. We might miss them in the playoffs if we get by, we get a certain seed. Is that the strategy? What's the strategy?
What I want you to do, just like you talk about Jason Tatum and you watch him, what I want you to do with the Clippers, I want you to start paying more attention when in big games, Minnesota, Oklahoma City, Denver. I want you to start paying attention to Paul George and see what you're getting from him, because you're not getting much. Not only are you not getting much for him, what I also want you to pay attention to is I want you to pay attention to Ty Lue and his rotations. Just so you know, Kawhi Leonard didn't get back into the fourth quarter until 4 minutes left in the game. He was on the bench almost the entire fourth quarter. Why that is, I still don't have a clue. When they played against Minnesota, he went to the small ball. They sniffed it out. He had Russ on the floor. They went after Russ. They straight went after Russ. So that's another coaching issue. So you're asking me what the problems are. These are some of the problems. This is why I've been out. I
feel as if PG has the goal, the green light to take advantage of a lot of matchups late in these games. I don't understand to the life of me, how is it that he's not, one, and two, they've got away from what started this win streak in the first place. The simple shit. Like when it was time to feed Zubac and get him going, they got him going. He's been down. Plumlee, he was great off the bench. I don't really see too much of that anymore, man.
They tried to do that last night. They tried to do that last night in the third quarter. And what Oklahoma City did was they jumped those guys. They jumped Zubac. They just played harder. Not only did they play harder, they were tougher. Lou Dort digging in the paint, getting steals. Not just him getting steals. Chet getting help from those other guys and bumping Zubac, who was complaining about fouls. And those guys were getting to the rim. They just didn't convert. Not only did they not convert, they were terrible in transition. So if I'm looking at a Clipper team that I think can go far, they can be had. Paul George has proven that. Watch the way you talk about Jason Tatum and the way you watch Jason Tatum. I want you to watch Paul George in big games. That's what I want you to do.
But the difference is PG is not. You already told me time and time again. PG is not the guy that's gonna take over for them. It's Kawhi. This is who we going to. This is the guy. He's gonna be the reason why we win it. Jason Tatum. In the case of Jason Tatum, bro, you told me that's gonna be the reason why he win it, and that's gonna be the reason why they lose it, bro. I've been seeing Jason Tatum for the past 2 years against other guys that are ready to take over, in Jimmy Butler and Steph, and I didn't see that, bro. And that, if you go back to that finals and you tell me he's a different player now than he was then, like, he didn't play goddamn well in none of them damn games, not even none of the wins. So my thing is, if you up 2-1 and they done gave you mulligans and you still ain't doing what you're supposed to do, you go down 3-0 against Jimmy, who is not scared of you. Why should I think shit is going to change now when it's going to be you, when you're still the guy, number one, and PG is not, when you still go when they go as you supposed to go, when PG doesn't, it's Kawhi. Why should I think that Jason Tatum is going to all of a sudden take this leap just because the Eastern Conference looks the way it looks? Why?
Because you've seen him do it. That's why. You just didn't see him win the NBA championship. That's all. That's the only difference, Lee.
I seen him get out of the East one time.
You didn't see him win the NBA championship. That's the difference. With that being said, this Clipper team is going to go as Kawhi Leonard in terms of his health. But the same thing I told you about Minnesota, where as good as they are defensively, as good as Anthony Edwards is, Cat can't suck. We know that Cat can't suck. Well, guess what? Paul George can't suck neither.
I think
he does.
I think Paul George could stink it up before Cat. They need Cat. They need him.
Oh, you think so? You
They got
think so?
James Harden. They got a bench.
You think so? What I want you. This is why I want you to watch. The reason why I want you to watch the Clippers. The reason why I want you to watch the Clippers because I want you to watch how they run sets for him. I want you to watch how they run action for him. How they run clear outs for him. James Harden is the primary ball handler who's not going to take over the game. He's not going to do that. He's just the guy that he needs the ball in his hands and he needs to be the orchestrator. That's who he is. He's the table setter for both. He was who James Harden is. He was who Russell Westbrook was last year when Russell Westbrook got on the crew, and he was the guy who gave both Paul George and Kawhi Leonard that cushion.
Did he have the same role over here with Kyrie and KD that he has over there with Kawhi and PG? In terms of like facilitating and making sure they get easy shit and
yes.
Okay, all right. So okay. So with that being said, we know what PG can do. My thing is just like, okay, yeah, and we know, and the thing is, they have others. They got Norman Powell. They got other guys on that bench.
Leaf, don't do that. No, Leaf, don't do that. No, don't do that. Don't do that to me, Leaf. Don't. Because when we're talking about the playoffs, what matters the most? No, Leaf, don't do that. And don't look at me like I'm crazy neither. Because when we talk about the playoffs, this is the shit that boils me with you. This is how you get my blood pressure up. Because you know when we talk about the playoffs, who matters the most, Leaf? Who matters the most when we talk about the playoffs?
The guy.
Right, so don't talk to me about no goddamn rotation players. Don't do that with me, Leaf. Don't. Because when we get to the meat and potatoes of it, you're not going to sit there and tell me, yo, Norman Powell didn't do his job. You're not going to tell me, yo, Zubac didn't do this. What you're going to tell me is James Harden didn't show up. You're going to tell me Paul George didn't show up. You're going to tell me Jaylen Brown didn't do nothing. You're going to tell me that Jason Tatum didn't do nothing. Don't do that to me, Leaf. Don't do that to me, Leaf. That's bullshit right there.
I was going to say, in terms of a facilitator, James Harden not only has the job of making sure Kawhi and PG get easy shit, but also everybody else as well. So the thing is, once Zubac starts to get started and he starts rolling to the basket and he starts getting them easy buckets, that opens things up a lot more, does it not?
A lot more for who?
A lot more for everybody, because now the defense got to play that. So the thing is, if the defense got to cover what Zubac is doing, which is mostly in the paint, and he runs that when they run in the pick and roll with him, I seen it. They run in the pick and roll with him. It's there. Now you get more and more guys, more of them perimeter guys open, not just Kawhi, not just PG, but everybody else as well as the facilitator. That's what I'm just saying as terms of facilitator.
James Harden needs the ball in his hand. But when we get into the meat and potatoes of games,
and most times than not, I understand what you're saying. Most times than not,
that's
in the meat and potatoes of the game.
Yeah, and that's the point. So when Kawhi Leonard is sitting on the bench in the fourth quarter until 4 minutes left in the game, why is that going on?
Listen.
Why is that going on? When we can't convert in the third quarter at the rim.
It gotta be unfair to them.
It better not be. It better not be. Because if it's that,
then that means the injury is coming.
And we're going back down this, Leaf. Do not take me back down this block again. Let me tell you why. Because I'm sitting in that passenger seat, and I told you to take a left, and you're still taking me down this block again when I told you that it's a dead-end street. We're going to crash into this wall, and you're going to kill us both. I told you this.
Listen. Last
don't take me down this block again, Leaf. Don't.
I understand. I understand losing. I understand losing to Denver, but Minnesota and OKC. If you are the Clippers, you have to assert something over them, because to me, I personally believe like they still have advantages over them. OKC, they can be had because they're young and they don't have nothing in the middle. So you got to take advantage of that.
In a 7-game series, yes. In a 7-game series.
Minnesota, the thing is, you know who Cat is, so you take him out. Now you're gonna leave the whole offense mostly up to Ant, and you can counter that with the Kawhi, the PGs, and on the James Harden. You have to be in Denver. I'm not gonna make no excuse for Denver because Denver is just the cream of the crop. But in terms of Minnesota and OKC, that cannot happen. You can't just keep getting bashed upside the head by these niggas, bro. Like, and they coming up. How you getting bashed upside the head by new players in the West? This is bullshit. You can't do that.
Hey, Leaf, I got to bounce, brother. But
All
it's
right,
good
yeah,
to
yeah,
talk
yeah,
to
of
you.
course, man. Listen, don't come at me with that Celtic shit no more. Don't do that.
Hey, don't come at me with that Clippers shit neither. All right, brother. Good to talk to you. I don't want to hear that shit. I got one more super chat because we do super chats around here. High Wall says, think Dallas offense and their new defense can do it. Do what? Win the NBA championship? I don't think that they can win the NBA championship, but I do think that they're going to be trouble. I do think that because I think this is the best front line. I think this is the most talented. I think this is the most talented front line that Luka has been on and been with since he's been in the league. That includes when he was with Porzingis. They didn't have this kind of talent on the front line, and I like what I'm seeing from them. 100% I do. So, but it's about that time for me, guys. It was good to see you tonight. Shout out to Ticket for pulling up. Shout out to all you guys for showing up. Y'all know what it is. It's basketball season. I'm here. I ain't going nowhere. Y'all know what it is when y'all see me. So until then, drink water, put on a suit. Don't drink and drive. Hey man, call your mother. If you don't do nothing, call your mother. I gotta call my mother. Since I'm telling y'all this, I gotta call my mother. And until then, take it light. Take it. Good to see you guys.